It's been called a mental health crisis, the need for intensive mental health care far outweighing the resources that are available. But what resources there are for the state's most vulnerable population could be on the budgetary chopping block.
The budget includes significant cuts at a level I find absolutely unacceptable.
December 1st, 2016, a newly elected Governor Kate Brown announces her plans for the state's budget. In that budget plan, the closure of the Oregon State Hospital in Junction City.
It was a very difficult decision for me to make, but as I mentioned, we are in a very tight fiscal environment.
The psychiatric facility opened in 2015. It was a complement to the state hospital in Salem. I got an inside look at what goes on within.
Thank you. Thank you. We provide the care and treatment for the people that are most ill in our society.
Carrie Kelly is the interim deputy superintendent of the state hospital in Junction City.
Everybody that comes into the hospital returns to their community.
Her goal and the goal of her 350 colleagues: treat those with severe mental illnesses and prepare them for life outside hospital walls.
We try to avoid sending people to the state hospital, and it's only when they really need this level of care that they should come here.
The Oregon State Hospital in Junction City currently houses 81 patients. Of those, 14 are from Jackson County, 3 are from Josephine County, and 2 are from Klamath County.
Clients come to us in two different ways. They can be civilly committed. That means they've been determined by a court to be a danger to themselves or others. The second population that we serve here are people that have been found to be guilty except for insanity. That means that they've committed a crime, but at the time they committed the crime, they were suffering from symptoms of their mental illness.
Patients with severe illnesses that could lose their treatment if the hospital were to close. Something legislators hope never happens.
And I've always been an advocate of getting more and more and more for mental health, because it would cut down the costs on the other end of your jails, because a lot of people in the jails are people that don't belong in the jail, they belong in a facility.
If the hospital were to close, as proposed by the governor, it could save the state an estimated $35 million. But those patients would have to be relocated.
If the hospital closed, you'd be looking at a management of beds. So some of those individuals would be moving to Salem after there were openings and, kind of in Salem beds as people are being released, which the U.S. Department of Justice has told us we need to do a better job of not keeping people in the state hospitals for so long.
If there aren't enough beds in Salem, that could mean patients would be returning to Southern Oregon, where mental health care services are reeling from recent layoffs and a lack of care.
We do have some services here in the county, but we don't have super long-term services for people who are in need of a place to stay, a safe place to stay where they can get their treatment and get medication and be monitored. You can't help but have an impact on the whole system by displacing that many people.
A possibility that those who care for our most vulnerable hope never becomes a reality.
The legislators are going to have to make some really tough choices.
In an interview before the state legislature reconvened, Governor Brown said she was willing to keep the Oregon State Hospital in Junction City open if lawmakers were able to find additional money. Coming up in part 2 of this NBC5 special report, I speak to a mother who says treatment at the Oregon State Hospital saved her daughter's life, and how local agencies are handling the mental health crisis on the ground. That's tomorrow on NBC5 News at 6 p.m. In studio, Matt Jordan, NBC5 News.